It is time to get our SCCA Club Spec Mustang on track, and we're only going to do that if we can do it safely. And that means we are here in the shop today bolting in some safety equipment. And Chris is way ahead of us here. He's already got the seat. You excited, Chris?
I'm excited.
All right, let's do it. We are going to be bolting in some safety equipment, but as I've said a million times, and you've obviously heard, safety is about more than just safety. It's about driver protection, but it's also about driver efficiency and effectiveness. And you experienced that firsthand when you ran that track night in America at pit race not long ago.
Yeah, even at my level of driving skills, I noticed I was sliding around in the seat, having to hold myself up and not being able to go to my full potential.
Right, so that's terrible for performance, obviously, but that's also terrible for safety, because if you are expending a lot of energy and a lot of emotional energy, keeping yourself steady in the seat, you can be a hazard to other drivers, you can be a hazard to yourself, and it does no good for your lap time. So don't think of safety just as safety, although that's very, very important. Think of it also as an upgrade in driver efficiency and driver effectiveness. So before we get going here, quick rundown of what we're going to be doing today. Chris, we're putting in level 2 safety into this car. Do you know what level 2 safety is in the context of the SCCA time trial series?
I know it's one better than level 1.
It is. It's twice as good as level 1. So when we're talking about SCCA time trials, which is the main thing we are preparing this car for, of course, Club Spec, if you weren't along for earlier iterations of this video, Club Spec is a spec you can prepare to and be competitive in the autocross division or in time trials as well, with the exact same car prepared the exact same way. But the one option we do get is safety levels. Safety level 1 is fully legal for a time trial, and that is just personal driver safety. Helmet, closed-toed shoes, proper garb, OEM safety gear like your OEM 3-point seat belts, all that stuff has to be in place. And like any of these safety levels, it all have to work as a system. We'll talk about that system aspect more a little bit later. Safety level 2 lets you up the ante a little bit, put in a proper fixed back racing seat. We've got one from Cobra here that we got through HMS Motorsports, a proud partner of this video as well. Schroet harness, a 6-point fixed harness, also came from HMS Motorsport. We've got a beautiful 4-point roll bar from Competition Motorsport. First time we've ever worked with one of their products, and just looking at it sort of on the bench, very excited about bolting that thing in. And some very, very trick seat mounts from Vorschlag Motorsports. Terry Fair over there got these off to us. They do a lot of work with S197 Mustangs, every generation of Mustang really. And Terry has promised us that this is going to be the easiest and cleanest seat install we've ever done, which, if that is true, I am very much looking forward to it. What about you?
I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. All right, time to get our hands dirty. We're gonna start out by getting the front seats out of this thing and seeing what we can find under those front seats. Maybe there'll be some money under there to pay for all this safety gear.
I spent a month in the Mustang last year, so maybe I'll find something I lost.
Awesome. We'll see if Chris is an Arby's man or a Zaxby's man by what fries are under there. All right, let's get to work. Hey, if you've been following along with this Club Spec Mustang project and you are interested in doing some of the same stuff, we invite you to check out the Sports Car Club of America. They are a partner on this video. They're longtime partners with Grassroots Motorsports, and they have long been the organization where we have done a lot of racing, a lot of track driving, a lot of autocrossing, and just a lot of having fun with cars. If you want more information about all of their programs, from autocross to Track Night in America, where you can take your daily driver out on a racetrack in a non-competitive, low-pressure, fun environment, all the way to hardcore road racing and time trials, check them out online at scca.com. First thing we do is we drop the descenders in, and they actually go into the bolts that originally held the seat back in. So that is bungs that are right in the unibody of this car, and are going to give us a nice hard mounting point for the back of our roll structure. So leave that pretty loose, Colin, because we're going to need to be able to move these around a little bit. So there was a little bit of huffing and puffing, but this thing is actually really, really slick. We had to put a little bit of pressure on it to get everything to line up properly, but we didn't have to do any cutting or grinding or anything. You know, that's just kind of the nature of roll bars. There's a lot of welding that's done on here, so there can be a tiny little bit of warpage, or you know, the car could have been in an accident at one point. Some of these bolt holes may have shifted 32nd of an inch, and sometimes that's all you need to do to kind of get things to line up properly. But really slick install, and a really, really nice fit here. Everything bolts together very well. The thing I want you to remember is that safety is not just one piece or an item or a checkbox on a website that you order off the internet. It's a system. Everything works together. This roll bar is going to work in conjunction with a fixed back race seat and with a harness, and everything is going to augment everything else. So if you've got rollover protection but no proper harnesses, you're not really as safe as you can be. If you've got a fixed back race seat with no rollover protection, then in a rollover incident, that seat's not going to give, but the roof is, and that's what it's designed to do, to shed that energy. And you could be exposing yourself to a lot of additional injury. If you've got harnesses, fixed harnesses with no rollover protection, and you're in a rollover, your body naturally needs to fold a little bit, and that's what these regular OEM 3-point belts allow you to do, and that's not going to happen. So when you're upgrading safety, make sure to do it as a complete system, and that's what our level 2 safety is about. That we're allowed to do in this SCCA time trial class, and in Club Spec Mustang in general. So we're taking advantage of that, doing everything as one. It's going to not only make us safer with a legal roll bar, but that Stroth harness and that Cobra seat from HMS. Everything is going to work in conjunction and not only hold us in better to go about the business of driving more effectively, but to be a complete safety system. So everything is in here, sort of not even hand tight, just sort of hand positioned. We're going to make one quick pass with a wrench and get everything snugged down. Then we'll go back and torque everything. Competition Motorsports gave us torque specs for all of these different interfaces. They also gave us some nice brand new hardware to use in here. And then we should be good to go with our seat install. So if you've ever mounted a race seat before in a car, you know that it's kind of awful. And it's even more awful when you want to have it adjustable and have sliders in there. Like, they're always way too high off the deck. Nothing ever truly fits right. And Terry Fair from Vorschlag said, I've got the solution for you. I've got a set of low mounts. I've got the right adapter plate. And just based on eyeballing things, I really kind of like the way this is all working out. These side mounts here, which is what you're going to use for most side mount race seats, they are a good inch or so lower than most others. We're just kind of Frenching stuff in right now, you know, getting everything in place. We'll do our final adjustments once everything is in the car. But I think based on kind of eyeballing this stuff, it's going to fit way nicer and require way less fabrication on our end than most race seats I have installed in the recent past. So far, so good.
And why do we need the race seat adjustable?
So why we need the race seat adjustable is because I am 5'6", which is a lie. I'm 5'5", and Chris is not that height. He is several inches taller, and Colin is kind of right in the middle of both of us. So we've got people of various sizes that are driving this car, and it's nice to have that seat adjustable. It's way easier to put the seat right where you need it than it is to pad things up. You know, you pad a seat, and all of a sudden the seat isn't working the way it's intended. You're in a race seat especially. you have these wells and these bolsters, and your shoulders need to be between these wings, and your hips need to be between these, and you start patting yourself and getting your body away from the surface of the seat, and all of a sudden this doesn't work the way it's intended. So you want to be able to put that seat right where you need it. We are attaching sliders to this, so we do need to get our sliders mounted to the bottom of our feet for our race seat. We're using one of the existing holes and drilling a new hole to mount our Sparco sliders on here, and we should be good to go. We'll have to drill a couple of holes then in the seat base to mount our sliders to the base, but you know, everything kind of lines up so far. So nice job, Terry, so far. I'm not bleeding yet, so great job, Terry. One thing we're really impressed with is as soon as we dropped this Vorschlag plate into place, it really just dropped right in where it needed to be. And now I'm making some index marks here so we can actually bolt the sliders right down to this. But everything is kind of working as intended, which I like a lot. It's also got lots of options too. They've given you pre-drilled bosses back here to mount your little eye bolts in for your sub belts and your lap belts. You can put sub belts here. You can put lap belts back here. Just gives you a lot of stuff to work with, which is really nice. And like I say, if you've ever mounted a seat before, this stuff just never seems to work out. And maybe this is a few ounces heavier than some of the other brands, but for the options that it gives you and for the way that it actually does fit inside this Mustang, I'm really impressed. Terry Fair, well done on this seat mount. So we've got our seat mount on, we've got our sliders on, we've got our seat bolted down to our sliders, which is bolted to the mount. Tightening all the fasteners here. We've test fitted in the car already. It's sort of roughly in the position where we want it. I don't think we're gonna have to change, you know, the movement or the tilt or anything. It's got full range of motion for sliding. So I think we're just about there. Now we've just got to attach our safety harness, our Schroth harness there from HMS, and we're going to use these little eye bolts here. These are the sort of hardened eye bolts that you use for safety gear. We've got lots of pre-drilled bosses in this seat mount to attach our sub belts and our lap belts back there. So everything is kind of set up and ready to go for us. So remember, these eye bolts that you use for clip-in style safety gear are not the stuff you get at the hardware store. They are not you know, the typical one-sided eye bolts. These are specially hardened. They are a full 360 degrees all the way around the circumference there, and they have these nice shoulders to sit either on your floor with a backing plate behind it and on top of it, or on our mounting plate in the case that you know, we're using these Vorschlag mounting plates here. So don't just run down to the hardware store and get some zinc coated eye bolts. These are safety specific, so please use the right stuff. So remember, safety gear has an expiration date. In the case of these Schroth harnesses, it is June 2028. They will be valid too. These are susceptible to damage and wear just like any other fibrous material. If they take a lot of UV, they can get brittle, they can get dry. If you're in an incident, obviously they're going to stretch. So please maintain your safety gear by making sure it's current and by periodically checking it for wear, for cuts, for abrasions, for anything that could compromise you in the car. Because ultimately, this is all about saving your butt and the rest of the meat attached to it. And just like we keep saying that safety is a system, even belts like this are a system. Whatever sanctioning body you are running with is going to have standards that they want adhered to for how this stuff is attached, the type of angle it's approaching your body from, and the type of distance that you're allowed to take up with the adjusters. So read that rule book and make sure that when you do install this stuff, everything is up to the spec that sanctioning body, whoever's going to be tech inspecting your car, is going to expect, because that's going to be the difference between you having a great time on track and you being sent home or sent somewhere else to hastily reconfigure something that is not up to spec. So when you're setting up belts in a car, nothing I hate worse than getting into somebody's car and you've got this much adjuster coming out the other end of the belt to get the belts adjusted. So you want to take up as much slack as you can before you even get those belts in place. Now, we face a challenge here because we've got multiple people in the car. So you want to set your belt lengths, your initial belt lengths, to whoever's going to sit closest to the wheel, because that's who's going to be using the most belt. So whoever's sitting closest to the wheel needs the least amount of adjustment. So get your belt set there, take up that slack. I'll show you how to roll up the extra in a few minutes here. And then anybody who's taller than that, who's sitting back closer, they'll have plenty of belt. If you've got a huge delta of distances, they may have too much belt, but you know, one person gonna have to have too much belt, everybody else should be okay. So get your shortest driver in the car first, which is me in this case, because I'm gonna be sitting the closest and using the most shoulder belt to reach me and the most lap belt, because those lap belts are fixed in position on the seat base. So I'll get the belt set to me with just a minimal amount of adjustment, and then we'll you know, we know we'll have plenty for anybody taller that gets in the car after that. When you're done getting the length of your belt set, you want to lock these off. In the case of these, we don't have a lot of dangle here, so we're just going to take our course adjuster and run it backwards through our little buckle here, and we are good to go. We can even kind of double it over and tuck that in, and it will not go anywhere. If we have a bunch, what we're going to do, we'll show you that on the lap belts. We'll roll it up, we'll zip tie it so they aren't going anywhere. There's nothing worse than having extra belt flapping around that you don't need to deal with in the car. So I'm in, we have the lap belts on. I'm sitting where I want to sit. I might not mind being a little bit closer, but I do have some slack here. And I don't have a ton of adjustment in the belts, but no one's going to use more belt than me because I sit the closest. I have the largest circumference, so no one's going to be using any more belts than me. Everyone's going to be back further, so this is a pretty good spot to start with the belts. Now we just got to thread those shoulders through. When we do these shoulder belts, we're just going to start with one because we know they're both going to have to be the same length essentially, and we're just going to kind of take our best guess at our first try, and we'll go from there. So I think we are pretty long right now. So once we get the length of one of these belts, then we'll be able to just set our length of the other one to match. So just to show you what happens when you have too much belt, you start adjusting, you start adjusting, and eventually you're going to run out of adjuster if you have too much belt. You've got something like this going on, and I've got this slide adjuster almost all the way down to the cam lock. So that's why you want to set these things as close as you can before you have to worry about your tensioners. Set them with the course adjusters, and then just use your tensioners for tensioning. Now that our lengths are set, we can get our belts fully installed here. And don't forget, these belts are also indexed to one side or the other. See how that tab is tilted to one side? That's so it fits into the cam lock properly. So don't do this the wrong way, or you have to take it back off and start all over again. We actually haven't done that. I'm actually warning you before I do it myself. So we got belts, and we have a fully functional safety system here. Cobra seat on a Vorschlag mount with some Schroth belts. We are in good shape here, not only for safety, but for driver comfort and for driver efficacy. I think this is going to be a huge upgrade for this car. So yeah, big thanks, super shout out to Vorschlag for a fantastic seat mount, to HMS for this Cobra seat and these belts, and to Competition Motorsport for this incredibly slick roll bar back here that did not require any drilling and bolted right into factory hard points. Our Mustang is now SCCA time trial level 2 safety compliant, and we can still autocross the thing, and we're going to be better at both because we are being held in more efficiently. look, here's the thing about safety gear, is you never actually want to find out how good it works. But while you're not finding out how good it works, you get to enjoy all of the other benefits, which is you don't have to worry about driving anymore. You can just drive. This Cobra seat, these Schroth belts, absolutely phenomenal. That Vorschlag seat mount has put us in the exact right spot to drive in. Chris and I have some adjustability because of those sliders. So, you know, I'm 5'5", he's, 5'8" or 9 or 10 or 5'11"? Well, yeah, whatever. Good for you. And so we can both fit in this car, and that is the real benefit of safety gear. That's the benefit that you're going to feel every single time you go to the track. The other benefits, the safety benefits, you may only ever feel once. Hopefully you never feel those benefits, but there are measurable benefits to safety gear every single time you start this car and head out of the pits onto track, and that is what I'm feeling right now. This transformed from a car that I would not be that excited to take to the track because I knew I was going to come home with, you know, sore shoulders and sore wrists. And now, like, it's just a car you can drive. You almost have to rewire yourself a little bit because you are feeling more of what the car is doing because you are so connected to the car. So, yeah, well done, Schroth, Vorschlag, Cobra, and our friends at HMS Motorsport for hooking us up with this stuff because choice, and hey, good job to whoever put it in. Yeah, did a good job. Because it is worth every busted knuckle, every Band-Aid. It is absolutely worth the trouble to make these upgrades.
Support brands who support Grassroots Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. To learn more, visit crcindustries.com. Want to see more content like this? Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And for more information, visit us online at grassrootsmotorsports.com.